What up, people? Welcome to For the Love of the Shows on I Live for Saturdays, the best college football channel on YouTube. Follow us on Twitter at I Live for Saturdays, 4 as in the number 4. And we're starting a new series called For the Love of the Shows. And we'll be talking about just shows on, I wanted to say For the Love of Netflix, but there's great shows on TV as well. I usually only watch Netflix for the most part, but there are some good shows on TV. Also, there's some nice, I would say, YouTube channels, which I consider shows now. So anything that we like that has any sort of entertainment with our eyeballs that has nothing to do with sports, or it could do with sports, we will discuss and talk about. And the first episode, I will talk about Friday Night Tykes Season 1. And I've already watched every single Friday Night Tykes. It is by far my favorite show on TV, Netflix, whatever. I just finished Steel Country, Friday Night Tykes Steel Country, Pennsylvania football in Western Pennsylvania. It is awesome. I think one of the coaches on Friday Night Tykes Steel Country follows the I Live for Saturdays account, so that's pretty cool. Hopefully we can get an interview with him or one of the coaches or somebody or someone else. So I would love to have that series if that's possible. But first season of Friday Night Tykes, and I'm gonna talk about why this is my favorite show on TV, but also the worst show of all time. And I have a love-hate relationship with this show because, really quickly, it's football. I love football. That's why I love it. It's sports. I love anything sports, movies, shows, real sports, playing sports, coaching sports, whatever. It's awesome. Love sports. They do a fantastic job of filming and editing and producing. I think it's really well done. It's not just a show they put together and they just filmed a bunch of coaches yelling at kids doing 100-yard wind sprints on their iPhone. You know, it's a really well done, put together show. But the main reason why I hate it as well, the hate part of it, would be for the simple fact that there are 8 and 9-year-olds that collide their bodies at each other and collide their heads with and give each other concussions. And if not giving themselves concussions, giving them little small hits that will eventually in life affect them negatively. So to me, it's a little disgusting. And I really don't know why I just don't straight up hate the show. Now, a lot of people haven't watched this show at all for the simple fact of it's youth football and it's pretty disgusting. And it is. I won't lie. It really is. But for whatever reason, if you love football, you watch the first 2 episodes, and you already go through the first 2 episodes, I guarantee you will never leave this show. Like, I went through the first episode, and I said, I'll give it one more chance. And as soon as I hit the second one, I had to go to the third and fourth and fifth, and I just wiped through the whole first season. And I got to tell you, I have never been in such an emotional roller coaster of emotions on any show or movie possibly ever. I mean, there are so many things the reasons why I love this show and why I hate it. But probably the main reason why anyone would hate this show is just horrible coaching. And there ain't nobody better in this show that can be the best example of that than Charles freaking Chavarria. I'm assuming he's Latino. This is all football in Texas, youth football in Texas, rookie division, I think they call it, 8 and 9-year-olds. And Charles Chavarria has this weird habit of sacrificing kids' bodies to win completely useless football games. Because no matter what you tell me, I don't care what the hell you tell me, winning at 8 and 9 years old in any sport means absolute crap. Even if you're a national champion or a world champion, that has never equated into future success ever in being world or national champs. So why the hell does this dude sacrifice kids' bodies to have. I don't want to ruin it, and I might spoil a little bit. And if you don't like spoilers, you could just go past. I'll probably have a little bubble here, but what was it? A 5-4 season, 6-4, whatever it was, 4-4, I think it was. Useless, stupid. I mean, I could go all day about how bad this dude is, and I think there's been so many takes on Charles Chavarria on how terrible of a person, right? He screams at kids. He makes his kids do cheap shots on other kids. He like pushes kids. I think I might have gone too far. I don't think he pushed kids. He swears a little bit too much. He talks about kids going after for blood, go out and hurt them. I don't care if they get up, things like that, right? We could go all day about that, but I got a different take on Charles Chavarria, and which I agree with all that stuff. But I think the another perfect take that I take from Charles Chavarria is the coaching mentality, especially the older coaches, in their 50s, maybe late 40s, in their 60s. The old mentality of, yeah, back in my day, it was way better. And life back in your day was not better, all right? I could order pizza on my phone with the goddamn emojis, all right? Life back in your day was not better. Stop that, all right? Second, back in my days, we had to bleed at 8 and 9 years old. Yeah, back in your day, you were really stupid. Why the hell would I want my child or your child or any of my players to ever have to bleed so that they could get better, or have to get hurt so that they could get better? That was a stupid ass thought. And then people always say, oh, well, when we did it back in our day. Well, you know what? There's been improvements in coaching in all sports. And USA football is far behind in any of the sports, at least any of the major sports. But there has been improvement. And we know better things. We know better tactics. We know better techniques on how to coach kids better. You don't have to hit each other until the other one's unconscious so that you can get tougher. Or you don't have to scream at the top of your lungs and swear at kids to make them tougher so that results into winning football games. And the worst thing, the absolute worst part of all that, of the back in my day, we were better coaches, is the crap mentality of, well, look how I turned out. And usually those dudes that say that, back in my day it was better, we had better things because we were tougher. Yeah, you usually look at those guys and you see a lot of problems with those dudes. Those dudes have tons of problems. Like Charles Chavarria, perfect example. He said, well, I gotta show these kids about commitment and all this stuff. He never really showed on how to use all those things that he was talking about in the real world, in real life. Besides work, apparently he works 12 hours a day at work and then he goes to football practice. Besides that, when it came to his family, he wasn't there. Right? His wife said, hey, football's affecting our marriage, your kids, we don't see you. Can you cut down on this? Instead of looking at it and saying, okay, this is a great example, I'm going to tell my kids, we got to cut down practice. Okay? We're still going to work hard. We're going to work shorter, but we're going to work a little harder, a little faster, because I got to get home. When we talk about commitment and hard work, you got to apply it to other real world stuff, like your family, for instance. And he just refused to do it. And he didn't see it that way. He saw, well, I got to show my kids how hard I work in coaching. And you can still do that. But you got to teach your kids that there are more important things in football and winning games, especially at 8 and 9 years old. Okay, I don't know how many times I'm going to say that today, but especially at 8 and 9 years old. And he just never did. That's why I can't stand those type of coaches. I cannot stand Charles Chavarria. And there's a lot of coaches I just couldn't stand in the show. But let me get to some real 3 quick reasons why Friday Night Tykes is the worst / best show in the world. Really quick, just football, right? Is the best. I love football. I love watching football. every football at any level. I don't care what it is great. If it's 6-year-olds out there playing football, it's awesome. But the fact that little kids just swam into each other and smash into each other is also a big reason why this is possibly the worst show on football. It's disgusting. And giving each other head trauma, oh my God. This is one of the worst things you'll ever see. At the same time, it's one of the best things you'll ever see because it's great football and you get to see kids getting better. And then you'll see a kid go make a sweet move or a burst of speed and you go, oh, damn, or a big catch. And you get off your chair or your couch and it's awesome. It's great. I love the show for that. Another big reason why I love/hate the show, I'm a coach. I love coaching. And there's a really strong coach's perspective of the show. You know, it's not all about the players. It's not all about the parents. There's a coach's factor to it. And I love seeing how different coaches run their practices. You know, sometimes I take some of the parts of some of the coaches and I try to apply it to my coaching. And no, not all these coaches are great. I mean, most of these coaches are really mediocre to below average. For the most part, that is also why this is one of the worst shows. You got guys like Chavarria. I mean, grown ass men screaming at 8-year-olds because he didn't knock out some kid's teeth out. You know, crap like that you see in the show consistently. Some coaches are awesome and teach great technique, but there's other coaches just a little too far, like a little bit on the outlaws, a little bit too far. Now, you could argue that, hey, some of those kids need it. Apparently, they're from the inner city San Antonio, from rough neighborhoods, and they need a little more guidance than other kids, and maybe it's helped. Maybe it really has helped. You know, there's different techniques of teaching kids. Sometimes getting in their ear does help a little bit. But overall, as a whole show, there is a lot of terrible child coaching. It's too much about the coaches. They make it too much about themselves and winning for them when it's really about the kids. It really is. And I think the last reason why it's the best worst show, the family stories. You know, they go into the kids, family lives, the parents. And sometimes you see awesome stories. But unfortunately, those parents can also negatively affect the child's experience of football. And you just see it so many times where parents step in and are either mad at the coach or screaming at the ref or screaming at their own kid. I think the worst that I heard so far was, I think one of the parents told one of the coaches that, hey, how are we losing? With all this talent that we have and all these athletes, there's no way we should be losing. Something along those lines. And that's just fucking ridiculous. I don't like to swear, but that's straight up fucking ridiculous. Athletes at 8 years old? What the hell are you even talking about? Even if your child was a great at 7 years old, there's no guarantee that he's going to continue being a good athlete or keep up with the speed of other kids when he's 8. Just 1 year away. And not even the fact that it's just a stupid thing to say. Athletes? They're 8 and 9 years old, man. What the hell are you talking about? They're just kids. They're not athletes. They're freaking kids. It is insane. The parents, you hear some of these parents. And what makes it a bad show, and actually it makes it entertaining, to be honest. It's pretty freaking hilarious seeing some of these parents react. I mean, you see parents go on the field and try to attack a kid because their kid got hit by another kid, and he's like, well, he hit my kid. I got to protect him. And it just doesn't make any damn sense. Some of these parents are just completely senseless. And that's pretty much my whole take on Friday Night Tykes Season 1. My last thing, which I will always, and I'm going to keep on asking in this Friday Night Tykes series, is when is the most appropriate age to really start full contact tackle football? I don't think anyone's actually has a great answer to that. I really don't. I see USA Football already start their kids at the U8 division, under 8s. To me, that's a little too much. That's way too young. 7-year-olds tackling? Look at your 7-year-old nephew, your son, your daughter, your little cousin, your little brother. Look at them. Look how small they are. You want him or her, sometimes there are girls, I don't think in this Friday Night Tykes, slamming into other kids that size? It's disgusting. It's disgusting. I don't think in any way youth football in terms of full contact, right, helps at all at that age. I don't think it helps at 8. I don't think it helps at 9. I don't think it helps at 10, 11, 12. 13 is where we can start talking. 13 is when we can start talking. And we could talk all day, and people will get pissed at me that, oh, well, you're just soft or whatever. I know kids that have torn their ACL twice at the age of 10. That's ridiculous. It's fucking stupid. Why the hell are there 10-year-olds out here slamming themselves into each other? No, and I'm sure there's very little stats or facts. I would love to look this up. Someone please look this up for me. I'm going to look this up as soon as I finish this. That playing football at a young age will increase success throughout their football career. And I think, honestly, it only damages them with kids getting concussions. I hear all the time of people quitting football when I was in high school, people quitting football at freshman year because they've been playing football since they were 6 years old. And they said, oh, I had too many injuries and too many head traumas and all this broken legs and arms. And they were just sick of it. I don't think I honestly believe the first time you start playing football should be at 8th grade. And if you probably could convince me, the first time you play football is your freshman year. I mean, look at all these examples of people that just that picked up football in college. Or picked up football after they stopped playing basketball, like Antonio Gates. Like, guys like that, there is zero evidence that says you have to start playing football at a young age. Tennis, golf, soccer, hockey. Yes, I agree. All those you have to start at a very young age. There's a huge skill set that goes along with it. Basketball too, but if you're 7 feet, you could pretty much make the NBA with a 1-year workout. And I don't care what anyone tells me. If you're 7 feet, I'm sure there's a statistic in the world that if you know someone that's 7 feet or above, there's a very likely chance that they're in the NBA. Okay? But besides that, you at 6'3" and under, you're going to need 6'4" really, and under, you're going to really need a good skill set and probably have played since you were younger. Probably even 6'5". I'll even go 6'6". Once you get to 6'7", if you're not in the NBA, there's something wrong with you, man. For real. But football, what techniques besides tackling isn't in other sports? I mean, honestly, what technique? If you would say quarterback, okay, I agree with that. I would agree with quarterbacks. That is probably the only position that you need to start learning at a decently young age. But my thing is, why not just play flag football? Why not just play flag football? I don't understand why you can't play flag football and not be great. There is nothing to me that I can see that tackling full contact football will somehow produce better football players. I don't see that. How? Why? There's no freaking argument for it. I don't care if there's a huge comment that is 7 paragraphs in this goddamn video, but there is no damn argument that tells me, that will convince me tackling at a young age will produce a great NFL player. And this has been pretty much it. First episode for the love of the shows. Friday Night Tykes Season 1. Season 2 coming up. I will get more specific on Season 2 of actually what happened. This is more of a broad sense of what just Friday Night Tykes in general was about. Love Season 1. If you haven't watched it, watch Season 1. It is great. Watch Season 2, 3, and then go somehow find Steel Country online somewhere. All right. Subscribe to the